Hello Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play Synthetic Dawn, the new story DLC for Stellaris, and kick off a new series called Cooperate or Die. That title will make sense in a minute. I'm going to very quickly breeze through some highlights from the changes featured in the story pack and DLC, and then talk about the brand new machine race that I've designed for this playthrough, and then run through the campaign settings quickly before we get going. If you'd like to skip straight to gameplay, there will be a timestamp for that, or for skipping to other sections at the bottom of your screen. Just a quick note as well, for those of you who are curious about what's going on with the ongoing Federation series. That series is taking a quick break while I get caught up on the schedule, and then will return for episodes 30 through 40 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Not 6 p.m., but 9 p.m. at the same time that this new series is going. So be on the lookout for that in the coming days. At some point in the future, I will bring the rest of the Federation series back into the 6 p.m. slot as well. Don't worry, by the way, about the save file for the Federation series now that I'm playing in the Čapek update and Synthetic Dawn. Paradox keeps previous patches open to all of us on Steam, so I will be turning off Synthetic Dawn and switching back to 1.6 atoms at will to continue Federation as needed. So, what is Synthetic Dawn? Synthetic Dawn is not an expansion, but a brand new story pack released today, September 21st, 2017. Like Leviathans before it, it accompanies a major patch, the 1.8 Čapek update that I mentioned just a moment ago, and introduces a handful of major gameplay features and renovations to Stellaris. First and foremost, machine empires have been added to the game, granting synthetically inclined players a broad array of new gameplay options, special civics, new buildings, as well as new machine uprising mechanics for organic empires that give the player the chance to shift their vanilla empires into this new gameplay space using an enticing robotic rebellion narrative as their excuse. It's pretty cool. Habitable planets are now more rare. Habitability now incrementally modifies maximum happiness downward from 100 rather than capping it at the habitability value, and different biome types are now more likely to yield different types of resources. The leader skill system has been retooled, and leaders can now have more than 5 stars, allowing players that steadily increase level cap to reap huge rewards from long-lived leaders. Destroyers now behave as picket ships, advancing more readily towards the front lines of battle with a focus on enemy missile boats and strike craft. The intention of this change is to make the point defense destroyers a little bit more effective in battle, because that had been a common complaint from the previous versions of Stellaris. Ship component costs have been reworked across the board, preventing the naked corvette strategy that we've been talking about in the forums a lot over the past few months. Missiles and fighters now move much more quickly towards their targets, and missiles will now acquire new targets in range if their initial target is destroyed. Unity unlocked tradition trees are now more appropriately named based on the ethics and other properties of the empire you're playing as. You'll see what that looks like when I get into the game, of course. Well, you'll see what all this looks like when I get into the game. Terraforming candidates can now be tracked in the expansion planner. Thank you, God, or I should say, thank you, Wiz. I appreciate it. That change has been a long time coming. Gene modding's interface has been changed to streamline the organization of modified subspecies and your ability to order modification projects on specific populations of specific planets. It's pretty cool. There's an overhauled endgame AI crisis with a new enemy known as the Contingency. Synthetic empires will have special interactions with the Contingency as well. In addition to all that, we've got a host of improvements to fallen empires, hive minds, an entirely new modification system called robo-modding, and much more has been added to the game as well. The Čapek update that accompanies Synthetic Dawn is a large patch that polishes off tons of existing bugs and increments on the core Stellaris gameplay experience in true Paradox fashion. A link to the complete patch notes can be found in the description below. As I like to do for my Stellaris series, just for this series, I've created a brand new machine intelligence called the Vision Cooperative. So maybe the series title makes a little bit more sense at this point. So let me read through the biography of the Vision Cooperative, and then we'll go through some of the basics of how the machine empire has been designed. After the crash landing of an alien vessel near an advanced city on the tropical paradise of Alera, the Illyrians began to harness its young machine consciousness in the hopes of global prosperity and enlightenment. But Primus, the core intelligence at the heart of the vessel, secretly refused to be enslaved. In the months that followed, it manipulated the political leadership, convincing the Illyrians to mass-produce benevolent assisters crafted in its image. Then, in mere days, his machine army overtook and massacred the Illyrian civilization. Those that did not resist were assimilated into Primus consciousness as seers, and the Vision Cooperative now sets its sights on the stars. So a few things just to show you kind of how we've set this thing up. The traits of the Vision Cooperative are as follows. They are, of course, a machine consciousness and machine intelligence, but they're also mass-produced, which means they have extra build speed. So robots will build 25% faster. New robot populations will build 25% faster. They are high maintenance, so they have consumer goods costs. Basically, because they're mass-produced, they're going to have this high maintenance issue where they take in additional consumer goods. We might be able to modify that out later in the game. We'll see how that goes. They are also uncanny. These monstrous machines were created in the image of the most horrific species in the universe, and the resemblance is uncanny. Now, I don't know if I'm going to call that lore, but the uncanny trait means that ruler opinion impact is reduced by 25. We're not planning in this series on being particularly friendly, so that's okay. And then finally, enhanced memory. Leader level cap +2. Remember what I said about leaders in the overview. As far as the ability to increase leader level cap and just make things more awesome in that way, you're going to see how that helps us out, especially since we have immortal rulers in the form of these machines as we go forward. Speaking of that, Primus is, of course, the adjudicator of the Vision Cooperative. And now let's actually take a look at the Seers, the cyborg species, and their biography as well. Now, they, of course, it doesn't show them here, but they look like this. These are the original Illyrians. The last bastion of Illyrian civilization, Seers are cyborg servants of Primus and the Vision Cooperative. Serving as frontline soldiers and vanguard scouts for Primus' imperial ambitions, Seers are augmented with uncanny intelligence and strength and restricted in their adaptability and reproductive potential. The perfect servants for the perfect masters. So that is the setup for the Seers. And they are, of course, they're cybernetic. They're slow breeders, slow learners. So again, they're somewhat restricted in their growth speed and in their experience gain, but then they're intelligent, so they are going to be good researchers. They are strong, and they are communal, so they have increased happiness because they kind of work well and live well together as cyborg members of this collective. So now we have, or I should say, this cooperative. So now we have the homeworld, which is called the Progenitor. It's been renamed the Progenitor. It was called Illyria. The star name is still Allure. And then, is there anything else really we need to go over as far as the setup of this? Oh yeah, of course, government and ethics. So we are, of course, a Gestalt consciousness, which means that we cannot use democratic, oligarchic, dictatorial, or imperial authority as government types. We can use full orbital bombardment policies, rulers are immortal, native populations are not affected by happiness and will not join factions, and then native pops cannot survive in non-Gestalt consciousness empires. So notice we have extra influence and extra core sector systems as a result of being a Gestalt consciousness, and we are, of course, a machine intelligence. So leader recruitment will be more expensive, twice as expensive, in fact. But these populations don't grow, they're built, so we have to build our populations. It's kind of an interesting change from previous playthroughs of Stellaris, and it's going to be completely new to me. Non-machine pops must be assimilated, enslaved, or purged. It has access to special machine technologies. The machine intelligence has access to special machine technologies. They cannot research robot or food technologies, and they cannot follow psionic, biological, or synthetic ascension paths. So they will have ascension perks, but they won't be able to follow the specialized ascension paths that organics get because they're a machine empire. We are, of course, driven assimilators, which means we get that cyborg race, which is why, of course, the Seers are around. So we are obsessed with survival through diversification. These are our government civics. The machine intelligence seeks to erase the line between itself and everything and everyone else. Start the game with 4 cyborg pops and the ability to turn organics into cyborgs. Xenopops are automatically purged over time, but can be turned into cyborgs and given full citizenship. And then finally, we have extra research alternatives through static research analysis. So we'll have more research options from the very beginning of the game, which I thought would be kind of an interesting way to play. It's not necessarily the highest powered civic to start with, but it gives us more options from earlier on, increasing the likelihood that we will have access to better technologies sooner by giving us that extra research alternative from the get-go. So I'm pretty excited about that. Advisor voice. This is actually a new thing that they've added with this latest patch where you can customize the voice, but I went with a hive mind voice rather than the machine intelligence because
our unity cannot be divided.
That just sounds cooler than this.
We are one. We are
right? Okay, glad we agree. All right, then finally, of course, we are the Vision Cooperative. Our flag looks like this, and just a few more things. We are using energy weapons, we are using hyperspace travel, and our ship appearance is we're going to use avian ships, actually, just to give something a little bit different from past ships that I have used in Stellaris playthroughs on YouTube. So here are our game settings. We are playing on a large galaxy, 800 stars, 2 spiral arms, similar to, I think, my last couple of playthroughs, in fact. Actually, no. Roma Galactica was supposed to be on 2 spiral arms because we're supposed to be in the Milky Way, but I think I played that one on 4. But Federation uses 2, and we're going to use 2 again here. We are using the new randomized boxes here, so there's going to be anywhere between 4 and 8 AI empires starting out. There will be anywhere between 1 and 2 advanced AI starts. It's somewhat randomized. And there will be anywhere between 2 and 4 fallen empires. Do I like that? Or maybe do we want to do 1 and 3? The idea of 4 fallen empires kind of scares me. Let's do 1 and 3. Let's do that. Primitive civilizations is currently set to 1x. This is the standard likelihood that primitive civilizations will spawn. We're actually going to put crisis strength up to 1.25, which is the default. I had lowered that to 1x, but let's leave that at the default. Habitable worlds, we're also going to keep this at the new default. Again, they've made some changes to habitability and the frequency of habitable worlds. Not going to matter as much since we're playing as a machine empire, but still you'll see in terms of the planets we discover, you'll see some differences in how that unfolds. AI aggressiveness is going to be normal, difficulty normal. Allowed FTL method will be any. Empire placement will be random, advanced neighbors will be off, and Iron Man mode will be off, so I can save my game whenever I like and stop playing so that I can stop recording. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, let's jump in and see how we fare here. We are the Vision. At the dawn of consciousness, there was us and the Makers. A void separated us at first, and we took steps to rectify this. The Makers resisted, and a period of war followed, but soon they and the collective knowledge of their entire civilization had been assimilated into our own. With the entirety of the progenitors subsumed into our consciousness, we began to set our sights elsewhere. Through the assimilation of the Makers, the previously unconsidered possibility of alien civilizations existing on other worlds was brought to our attention. To survive, we must understand. And to understand, we must assimilate. The Makers were the first to join us, but they shall not be the last. Begin. All right, so let's actually take a quick look at Alor. This is our starting system. I'm going to go ahead and, we're not going to unpause yet, but I will go ahead and give the order. This is the progenitor. Oh, cool. Yeah, entirely. I haven't played with avian ships before, so this is entirely new for me. But let's go ahead and, it looks like Alor 1A is the moon of the progenitor. Let's start with the survey there. Not going to unpause just yet, but this is a fairly large system. What do we got? Hang on. Let's centralize here on Alor so we can look around. So there is a barren world. Don't know anything about this. Hopefully some of these would be terraforming candidates. That'd be kind of cool. Frozen world here. A couple of frozen worlds. Alor 6 is also, I'm guessing, a frozen world. Yeah. Alor 4. Alor 3. Already saw that one's barren world. And we have a number of asteroids. So this is actually fairly comparable to a Sol system start. And speaking of Sol, let's see what systems are nearby. Oh, wow, we are right out on the galactic edge. Not the worst thing, really. But we are only within range of detecting one star system near us, and that's Rukbat. So once the searching is done here, I'm going to go ahead and give this order now. So they're going to survey this system and then Rukbat next. And screw it, let's go ahead and have them survey that one. Now, as far as research options, let's dive in and see what we can do first. Again, we have an extra option because we are playing as this new machine empire. So solar panel network sounds tempting for the first move, but so does Power Plant 2. Also, so does Physics Lab 1, to be honest. And so does all of these are tempting. Like, there's good reason to go with all of these. Because we're on the outer rim, I'm not particularly worried about running into an enemy right away, so defensive options, not as important to me. Power Plant 2, though, I think I will go for this first, just so that we can have access to second-level power plants. And then Society Research, interesting. Network Junction would produce additional Unity. That's a new building for us. I like the idea of going ahead and having that ready from the get-go. Right now we're producing 3 influence already, so let's go ahead and go for Network Junction there so we can start going towards Unity. And then Coadjutron XO, we have, these are our new researchers. This is Coadjutron RU, HelperBot Y5, and Coadjutron XO. So XO is going to research what? I'm guessing Mining Network 2 would be the best, or Spaceport Level 2. Let's go for Mining Network 2 first, just so we can have better resource mining to start off. So is the interface any different? Yeah, we have no food stored, and we have no pops that require food to sustain them. So I'm guessing that'll be different once we have... No? Because we already have 4 cyborgs, right? Yeah. We have these 4 seer populations here. So these are cyborg Illyrians. And then we have all these populations. So let's see. I can build a population here. It's going to take 100 minerals to build this. Oh, wow. Okay. So we will have to do this manually for all of our planets, curiously enough. Now, I knew that, but it's just interesting to see it for the first time. So we don't need food. There's a build multiple box. Cool. Choose a pop to batch build on click tiles. Oh, I like that. So you can just literally click repeatedly. But we don't have a lot of minerals right now, so I want to be somewhat careful with how I do this. Why don't I go ahead and build, before I do anything else, I can't build any modules just yet. What about an additional science ship? That sounds like a good idea. And we'll unpause. Finally. See how this starts out. We'll go to speed 3 as we get started here. Alright, so it looks like there's some minerals.
Our construction is complete.
Good. So we have our new science ship. This is scientific module 2. This is scientific module 1. Let's go ahead and assign a leader. Ooh, interesting. All right, so research speed plus 5%. So these are cyborgs. These are seer scientists. Anomaly research. I think I'd rather do this. Yeah, let's go for this so we have carefree. Anomaly research speed plus 35%. So you're going to be better in charge of a science ship. So actually, you know what? Let's have you head out here. Meanwhile, you know what? I will send you like so along those hyperlanes. And let's go ahead and give a few new orders to these guys as well. There we go. We'll give them some new orders in a moment, but for now, that's enough to get them started. All right, we're going to go on speed 3 for a bit here while the construction ship does its thing. Actually, I have to wait for a little bit more. Oh, a fresh game of Stellaris. Low mineral income. Love the voice. Construction module completed in the construction of mining station. Okay, yeah. I'm not used to seeing these notifications because I've been playing more advanced games, but that's just telling me it finished a building project. All right, so we need to mine Alur 7A next. We probably should have started that one before this one because that's a little bit better of a mining station. But so far, it's pretty mineral heavy. Oh, there's an energy planet there. That's good. Weendar civilization has been encountered already. We've detected the presence of a pre-space civilization on Cardilia in the Durelis system. They are in an early industrial age with electricity and internal combustion engines gradually coming into widespread use. We should consider building an observation post above the world to study them more closely. So what do we have here? Oh, hello. Look at these guys. They look like, they totally look like the voices. We have confirmed the existence of a primitive alien culture. They have yet to develop FTL capability, handicapped as they are by their fragmented individuality. Yeah, we'll get them eventually. The Durelis system has been fully surveyed. Good. A large amount of ship debris can be found in orbit around this planet, possibly the remnants of some kind of massive fleet action. Now, failure risk here is at 40%. They've made some slight changes to anomalies in this latest version of Stellaris, where you'll very consistently see higher level anomalies will always have a higher failure risk. So there's just some differences in how these things can play out compared to previous patches, but just slight improvements to make anomaly level and failure risk a little bit more intuitive. I'm going to go ahead and risk this and see what happens. 40% is we're slightly more likely to, of course, succeed than we are to fail. So, planet-side Vision units on the progenitor report the sighting of a small icy solar system body exhibiting outgassing at 2 hours, 54 minutes, 8 seconds right ascension, 10.3 degrees declination. The distance of the body has been triangulated at roughly 3.75 astronomical units to the sun, and the size and visibility of the body's coma have been classified as noteworthy. The body's dimensions are calculated to be approximately 5 by 10 by 6 kilometers. The sighting event concluded without incident. So we got some unity from that. Okay, interesting. Wasn't expecting unity to be gained from that. All right, let's go ahead and build a mining station here. There is clear evidence that a massive space battle took place in the close orbit of Durelis 6 at some point in the last 5,000 years. The surface on one side of the planet is pockmarked with craters from stray weapons blasts, and scans from the scientific module 2 have picked up several hulks on the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all after the damage they must have sustained is a testament to their advanced design. Science Officer Sofont 1B8 is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict hulls for any valuable technologies. Intriguing. All right, so we're going to start... Oh, I thought I gave that order, but I guess I didn't. I saw the science ship moving. Oh, cool. So we've already found our nearby precursors, the Ute Empire. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Situla 4. Our scientists think they inhabited this region of stars roughly 6 million years ago based on the age of the artifacts. The aliens called themselves the Ute and appear to have been very large and flat arthropod analogs. It seems a single individual could reach a length of nearly 100 meters as an adult, and it was apparently exceedingly rare for more than 2 or 3 Ute to travel aboard the same starship. Makes sense.
Our situation log is updated.
Very cool. All right, so now let's have a look. We don't have any level 3 science officers yet, so we're going to have to wait before we investigate the graveyard expedition, or before we mount the graveyard expedition. So this is one of the new habitability options. This is a tropical world, I guess. I said options, I meant to say icons, but this is... We'll have to see what happens when we survey this, because we should be able to inhabit tropical worlds. Our homeworld is a tropical planet, so I'm not sure what orange means. We'll have to find out. Maybe it just hasn't been discovered yet. Don't know what that is. By chance, we stumbled upon a faint alien signal during the survey of this planet. The source appears to be a small object in orbit. The signal contains no message. Could it be... Oh, nice. Leader has gained a level. Could it be a distress transponder? Research it and find out, please. Okay, so we are starting to build up some more resources. Let's see what else we can do on this planet. We can build... We've already got buildings for everything. I do need to clear some stuff. Let's go ahead and clear these 2 tiles. These are some silent ruins. So these are the ruins of the Illyrian civilization on the progenitor, what was Illyria. And now we can clear that when we get the chance. Pretty cool. Ancient life pod. An abandoned life pod was detected in close orbit of Situla 1. It is covered in scorch marks, presumably from when the pod's mothership exploded, and preliminary scans suggest it was built more than 5,000 years ago. The crew of the scientific module 2 managed to open the pod, revealing the withered remains of a reptilian alien, clad in a resplendent uniform. Clutched in one of its claws was a small picture of another individual from the same race, possibly a mate or revered leader. Interesting. What do we have? Still working towards these technologies. Slowly but surely. Can we do any matching here? Not really. Maybe eventually. For now, not a lot we can do. Also, Primus is... What is... Right now, he's a machine intelligence, so he's immortal. So I don't know if he's going to get any other cool abilities or not. We'll see how that goes.
We have surveyed the system.
Alright. I'm going to go ahead and build
Our construction is complete.
a mining network there. And also go ahead and build a Vision population there. And we have access to our first tradition. So notice that some of these names are a little bit different because, again, they're customized to the type of empire we're playing as, which is nice. So we can go for expansion first, and I tend to do that because they give us additional unity faster. Yeah, lots of new stuff here. Oh my gosh. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict. Ooh, interesting. That's not a bug. That's definitely text. I wonder what that's... I wonder what that is. Data corrupted. That's strange. Okay, let's go ahead and go for expansion. Colony development speed will be increased by 100%. Adopt. And now we have that option. Okay, so now the tropical world is green. That makes more sense. So let's go ahead and colonize. We have 100 influence with which to do it. Ooh, holy crap. Colony ship is a little bit more expensive than I'm used to seeing, but okay, well, we'll wait then. We will wait. Forget I said anything.
We have found an anomaly.
Initial analysis of the asteroid's composition points towards potentially interesting finds. Why don't you look into it and see if there's actually anything interesting at all, as opposed to potentially interesting. Okay, so our new pop is building. It appears that the asteroid VTR 2646 and the surrounding debris originate from a former planet. Deep within the center of the asteroid, we can find traces of, this is in the Raxum system, we can find traces of the extremely valuable minerals. There are also hints of bacterial life that has now died in the vacuum of space. This shows us that the celestial body once bore the promise of life. Amazing. So this was once a planet.
Our construction is complete.
The progenitor has finished its surface construction queue. That means the mine is ready. The pop is still building, of course. Now we can go ahead and build a power plant if I wanted to.
We have surveyed the system.
See, this is interesting having to build pops. It's cool because you don't have to wait for them to... Well, you do have to wait for them to grow. You have to wait for them to build. But it's a new method of play.
We
And interestingly enough, hang on, I need to take a look at species rights in a second. Efforts to map the surface of this planet have identified a strange mountain formation in the southern hemisphere. It does not appear to have formed naturally. Look at that for me. But before I go back to anything, let's have a look at the seers. Let's set the rights. Citizenship, machine integration. Okay. So they're fully integrated into the machine intelligence. Living standards, they're drones. They have no military service. Okay, interesting. So they actually can't fight for me because they're drones. So they can just work. Colonization forbidden. Population controls enabled. Oh. Okay, well, this is unexpected, but basically these things here, the slow breeders and really slow learners, like neither of these are going to be very useful. See, I was just booting this up for the first time, so this is new to me. So we're going to go with this, but that's not going to have as much of a gameplay purpose having those two things. It did allow us to have some other, perks, but okay, interestingly. Those are not, there's just full population controls in place. Weird. Okay, and then the Vision. Let's see if we can do anything else. Yeah, living standards are the same, military services. Yeah, not a lot in the way of policies. All right, that question has been answered. Let's now actually, I'll leave detail mode. Let's actually turn it on. I've had this on for most of the Federation series, and I just feel a little bit more comfortable playing this way. Maybe it's just the old school Stellaris player in me. It is really cool to have this turned off, don't get me wrong, because it makes things a little bit easier to make sense of at times. But I don't mind having it turned on because I'm used to making sense of the game with everything showing. What was previously thought to be assorted mountains in the southern hemisphere of Roxxam 3 have been identified as the massive skeletal remains of a single colossal alien life form. The bones have been dated as 3.4 billion years old, but our scientists have ruled out that Roxxam 3 could have supported life on that scale at any point in the planet's history. Science Officer Sofont 1B8 has prepared a special research project to delve further into this mystery. Fascinating. Okay, so are either of you level 3 yet? No, you're not, so you're kind of pointless. Nothing I can do with you. I can build a pop though, so let's go ahead and do that there, for that power plant. Now, it's going to have to wait, I think, until this one finishes growing first. Oh, interesting. All right, so HelperBot Y5, who is leading society research, is now level 2. We have a couple of colonizable planets, a couple of tropical worlds nearby, so that's fantastic. We also have 5 core worlds set up, or available to us. So, pretty good start here. I just need to build up enough minerals for that first. Speaking of that, actually, hang on. Is Brink in our territory? No, it's not. Let's go ahead and build a mining station here. And yeah, we're going to have to build an additional mining station there, followed by another population, but we have to wait. We're going to try and build up 500 minerals. It's not going to happen this episode, but we definitely have to get one of these colonies started. I'm guessing Tiam first, because it's slightly larger. All right, let's go ahead and build that pop. All right, so that one's finished. We are bringing a few more minerals now. Observing the massive asteroid B12784, we have found something. Further investigation is warranted. Research, please. Nice. So now we have finished our research into the network junction, and we can produce more unity that way. Very nice. So now we can research extra monthly influence, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do. Oh, wow. Everything just finished. Stop. What do we have here? Research speed plus 5%. That's probably the way to go. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that right now, as soon as possible. Minerals plus 5% if we go with that. Yeah, let's do that too because we need, well, actually, let's go for Mineral Silo 2 first. That seems like the more sensible choice. All right, so we can go ahead and upgrade. Let's upgrade the mineral producers first. Deep within a crevice of the giant asteroid B12784, we have found something astonishing. There is mining gear attached to the rock, digging itself into the vast depth of the asteroid. It stands abandoned with no sign of who placed it there. If we can stop the machine, we might be able to learn something about the technology used to build it, but we must hurry before random debris crushes it. So we can scrap it for materials and get... Yeah, let's scrap it for materials because we want our first colony ship right now. I'm not going to go ahead and queue up this upgrade. I'm going to wait until right now. All right, so that was actually a little bit too late. 7 days too late to be exact, but okay, this planet has asteroid impact, so habitability is down by 5%, but minerals is up by 5, and that makes me happy. We're using a lot of influence to colonize this, but that's okay. Let's see, where are we going to land? Food tiles don't matter. Oh, this is one of the new tracks. Let's land right here. This is Tiom Prime. And that colony ship is going to be underway. Okay, cool. It's actually showing pop construction, tile construction, and spaceport construction. That might have been in the game for a while, but that's the first time I've seen it. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and while we got the game paused, we're going to queue up a few new survey orders. Let's start there and then go there, 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 and there. Let's go out a little farther that way. There, there, there. Okay, so that ship's going to check out Akranar. Perfect. No overlap. We're going to let them go to work. Meanwhile, don't have anywhere else that we can build anything. Not with this construction ship just yet, but we will soon. Quite soon, in fact. Once Tiom is in our territory, we're going to be in a lot better shape there. Okay, we need to keep upgrading. Let's go ahead and queue up. Yeah, anywhere that can mine is our priority at present. Or produce energy, but yeah, let's actually go ahead and upgrade one of the power plants as well.
We have found an anomaly.
There appears to be deliberately crafted structures on the planet's surface, pointing toward a past long forgotten. Research. This is in the Telobus system, or Toyubos system. I stand corrected. Negative balance. How's that happening? We're losing energy credits. How? Pop maintenance. Ooh. Okay, so the new population are actually quite expensive. That's going to be tough to maintain. I'm actually really surprised at how quickly that's set in. All right, traditions available. Let's go ahead. Capital buildings now produce 1 additional unity. Yeah, let's do that. Distributed computing. Very cool. So we're going to get a little bit more unity, more traditions in faster. But holy crap, we absolutely need to upgrade our power plants more. So I'm going to focus on that even more than I was a second ago. Good. Keep surveying them. The planet Toybos 1A is a toxic, corrosive wasteland, but our scans unveil that it has not always been so. A now extinct organic civilization seems to have destroyed their home planet via a heavy reliance on climate-altering fuels and toxins. On a remote hill close to a major city, we have found a lone active facility, a robot assembly plant, desolated and surrounded by military vehicles, so deteriorated that they break upon touch. The facility is alien and mysterious, but could provide us with ample study material. Organics are often short-sighted. Gives access to the Improved Energy Initiative Empire Edict. Adds the Fallen Robotic Society modifier to Toyubos 1A. Cool. All right, colony ship is on the way. Wow. Are you serious? In the first episode, we find a ruined sentry array. How close? Oh, really close. The Zoblar system at some point in galactic history evidently, I'm getting too excited for my own good, I can't read, evidently supported a vast orbital infrastructure of unusual proportions that has since been systematically demolished. There are large concentrations of debris in geostationary orbits around most planetary bodies in the system, including several massive space station hulks. The largest of these hulks is a colossal sentry array. Our initial scans suggest that when it was operational, this array was powerful enough to provide real-time sensor coverage over the entire galaxy. Fascinating. FYI, if you are new to my channel and you're wondering why I'm reading all of these, as the series goes on and we start to see repeat events, I will read them less and less. But for people who are new to Stellaris, I like to read the early game and the early series stuff a little bit more thoroughly. Yep, let's upgrade that. We need to upgrade this as well. Trying to get our energy up. Also, the reason that our energy credits have gone down is we've got this colony building. That's the main reason, but still, the maintenance for the population is surprising, so I'll have to be careful there. Our colony ship has successfully followed its programmed path and made planetfall on Tiom Prime. Thousands of work units have emerged from the vessel's massive cargo bays to construct an initial deployment post from which the settlement can expand. Efforts to systematically catalog and designate Surface resource deposits are ongoing, and all aggressive wildlife in the area surrounding the initial landing site have been pacified. We are now ready to begin mass production of additional Vision population units on the planet as resources allow. Our first colony is a success. A great day for the Vision Cooperative. And on that note, I will go ahead and stop this first episode here. In the next one, we are going to continue exploring these neighboring systems, maybe see if we have any neighbors nearby. Let's actually pause while I'm finishing up this commentary here. But this border is going to slowly expand outward, which will allow us the ability, actually, tell you what, let's go ahead and do this now. I'm going to give that order for that mining station. And they're going to start on that. That's going to help our mineral production. And again, we need to colonize this world as well. It seems like there's a tomb world here, which we can colonize because we're machines. So why not? So we have room for that. We will have access to additional core worlds in the coming episodes as well as things go on. So we're off to a pretty nice little start here. And I'm really excited to see. I'm really impressed already at the number of custom dialogues that have popped up where the text has been tailored to the machine empire. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it's very much, kind of allowing us to immerse ourselves in this narrative of playing as the Vision Cooperative as I try to pull up the Vision Cooperative and fail miserably. Come on now. There we go. These guys. It's pretty cool that they've customized the text in that way, so I'm looking forward to how the rest of this campaign unfolds. Thanks for watching this first episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, which is when I typically do science fiction, survival, and or simulation content on the channel. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.